Good evening and I welcome you back to our channel today. Today we're going to discuss the shape and arrangement of bacterial cells. Now this one is very important to understand as scientists because we realize say bacteria been get very many different shapes, and na the cell wall where bacteria get they give them all these different kinds of shapes. Now we'll begin by talking about the size of bacteria. We know say bacteria get size where they very small. We dey say bacteria dey microscopic in nature. That one mean say you no fit see am with your naked eyes except you employ the use of the microscope. Now wetin be the actual size of bacteria? How small is this bacteria? If you take your ruler wey you dey use write or you dey use rule things, check out wetin be 1 meter for that ruler. If you come divide that 1 meter into a million places, no be 1,000 o, no be 10,000, 1 million places. One inside that 1 million na wetin we dey refer to as 1 micrometer. And the size of bacteria na usually between maybe like 1 to 2 to 5 to 7 micrometers. So this na wetin the size of bacteria be, and e dey important to understand this aspect of science. Now if you talk about the size of bacteria, another important thing wey you need to understand as student na say bacteria get wetin we dey call high surface area to volume ratio. Now wetin this one mean? You see as the bacterial cell dey small, e no get too much volume, e no get too much things inside, but e get area wey dey very large. And this one mean say the bacterial cell no need anything like circulatory system, e no need vessel, e no need anything like that, e no need blood, because simple processes such as diffusion and osmosis don dey okay to transport materials all around the cell. And we know say bacterial cell get cell wall, and this cell wall dey made up of material wey we dey call peptidoglycan. Now this peptidoglycan e dey give the cell wall strength, and this cell wall dey give the bacteria support, and e get wetin we dey talk. We dey say the bacterial cell dey selectively permeable, meaning say e dey decide the materials wey go enter the cell and wey go comot the cell. And this decision dey very important for the bacteria, because if the bacteria no fit regulate wetin dey enter and wetin dey comot, the bacteria go quick die because harmful things fit enter into the bacterial cell. So this na the work of the cell wall, and this one dey important. We dey talk say the cell wall dey selectively permeable. This one dey important to know. Now this cell wall also e dey rigid, e dey strong, so e dey give bacteria, it also dey give bacteria many different types of shapes. Bacteria get many shapes. Now some of the shapes wey bacteria get na one, cocci, and cocci mean oval or round. So if you see any bacteria wey get a round shape or an oval shape, we dey refer to that bacteria as being cocci. Many examples dey such as streptococcus, staphylococcus, gonococcus, meningococcus. Anytime wey you hear bacteria name, wey you hear coccus for the back, e dey tell you say that bacteria, the shape of that bacteria na oval shape. The second shape wey bacteria dey get na bacillus, and bacillus means rod, so e dey shaped like a rod. Now many types of bacteria dey, you get long rods, you get short rods, but once you hear bacillus, you know say that bacteria get the shape of a rod. And we get many examples. You get examples such as Bacillus anthracis, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus cereus. All these na different types of bacteria wey be rod shaped bacteria. The third shape na vibro shape. Vibro na the shape of sickle. The shape of, if you know sickle wey dem dey use harvest rice, e get one kind C shape like that. That na the shape of vibro. So you get very popular bacteria wey we dey call vibrio cholera. Na that bacteria dey cause cholera for children and for adults. The shape of that bacteria na vibro shape. The fourth, e get two shapes now, spirilla and spirochetes. Those two shapes dey bin look alike, and those shapes na wetin we dey call helical shape. E be like where something dey spin around like that. Long rod wey we come tie, wey dey spin around. This is what we call spirilla or spirochete shape. And e get just slight difference wey dey between spirilla and spirochete. And the slight difference na say spirilla dey more rigid. E be like, if you see this thing wey wetin dem dey call them now, vulcanizers dey use pump tire, some of them dey round wey go coil like that. That kind shape na wetin we dey call spirilla. Now if e dey rigid and e no fit stretch much, we dey call am spirilla. If e dey stretch well, we dey call am spirochete. So this one dey important to know. Another important shape wey bacteria dey get, sometimes we dey refer to some bacteria as being pleomorphic. Now this one mean say the bacteria dey take up many different types of shape. E no get fixed shape. So that kind of bacteria, you dey call am pleomorphic bacteria. And examples dey such as the bacteria wey dey cause ulcer, Helicobacter pylori, na example of pleomorphic bacteria. Another example of pleomorphic bacteria na Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Dat one na the bacteria wey dey cause diphtheria illness. All these ones dem be pleomorphic bacteria. Now, apart from the shape, bacteria dey also get arrangement. Sometimes you go see bacteria, e go appear as in twos or in threes or in fours. Many times, although that bacteria na unicellular organism, but sometimes e dey appear in company of another bacteria. They fit be two, they go appear together. Now, if they be circular or oval shaped bacteria wey appear in two, we dey refer to them as Diplococcus. Example being our meningococcus wey dey cause meningitis disease for children, and then we get gonococcus wey dey cause gonorrhea, wey be sexually transmitted disease. Now, we also get Streptococcus. This one means say they be circular bacteria, but they appear in the form of chains. So we refer to them as Streptococcus. This one dey important. We also get wetin we dey refer to as Staphylococcus. Now, Staphylococcus get im own unique arrangement, and e dey arranged like bunch of grapes. You know these small small grapes wey dey use do wine. If you see as the thing dey arranged all together, many go dey for one bunch. Na so Staphylococcus dey appear if you dey watch them for inside microscope. So this one na arrangement of bacteria. Some bacteria dey arranged in wetin we dey call tetracocci. That means say four go dey together. 4 tetracocci. E dey important to know. Now, sometimes bacillus too dey. Bacillus dey get a unique arrangement. You don know say bacillus na rod-shaped bacteria, and they go get their unique arrangement. So sometimes you go see bacillus wey be say they go appear in twos. We dey refer to them as Diplobacillus. E fit appear in chains. Na rod-shaped bacteria, but many go dey in a shape. We go refer to them as Streptobacillus. So all this, sometimes too, you go see rod-shaped bacteria wey go gather together, clump together for one place. An example na our Mycobacterium leprae. This one na the microorganisms wey dey cause leprosy. So you get that kind of arrangement. Na rod-shaped bacteria, but they appear plenty all together, clumped up. Even so say na rod-shaped bacteria. Now, that will bring us to the end of this class. For this class, the major things we've been discussed now, the different shapes wey bacteria get. And dey important to know say some of the most important shapes there na cocci, that's circular or oval shaped, bacillus, which is rod shaped, spirilla dey, spirochetes dey, and then pleomorphic dey. Thank you for listening to this class. Please share, like our content, and share it with your friends. Have a wonderful evening.